morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the media launch of the Asia CEO Awards 2020, brought to you by Asia CEO in partnership with PLDT Enterprise. I'm Isa Litton, and it is my pleasure to be your host for today's momentous occasion. The Asia CEO Awards brings together this country's senior leadership to recognize the accomplishments of individuals and organizations that have done the most to develop the economic capacity of the Philippines. Now, before we officially begin this morning's festivities, shall we first bow down our heads in prayer and join the invocation to be led by the Chief Advancement Officer of the International Care Ministries, or ICM. We have Ms. Carol Roa.
Let us empty our hearts and minds as we present ourselves to our Heavenly Father. Father God, we come before your holy presence, filled with joy and thanksgiving because of your faithfulness in our lives, despite our situation in our country and around the world. We thank you for the gift of life through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Today, as a community of believers, we come in humility and in unity, acknowledging that you and only you alone are the answer to what we are going through. You know what is best for our country. You know what is best for our businesses, for our families, and for each one of us, because you are the only one true living God who is all-knowing, sovereign, powerful, and the one who loves us immensely, and the one who will all provide for all our needs. Please help us understand the depth of your love for us and help us to live a life of faith, deeply rooted in your truth and in all your promises. Please grant each one of us your divine wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to do what is right, acceptable, and pleasing to you. Please bless us with your inner strength to completely rely on you alone and to surrender the full control of our lives. We put our faith, hope, and trust in you, our mighty God. We dedicate this media launch to you. We honor you and we thank you for how you have blessed and anointed the hands of Shalray, the Board of Judges, our sponsors, partners, and guests. And all these things, we give you all the glory and honor as we surrender everything to you. In Jesus' name we pray, and everybody say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Ms. Carol. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, this is probably for the first time in a long time. Please rise for the Philippine National Anthem. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Now, please do settle down and get comfortable because we are officially starting off the show. We have a group with a mission to express and not to impress. This theater and dance company composed of passionate cultural workers have been hailed for their innovative and eclectic style of dance and have received scholarship grants from the Cultural Center of the Philippines, the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, and PETA. Please welcome on screen the Tanghalang Bagong Sibol.
Asia CEO will always be reminding us, be the best for our people.
Together, we can work for a sustainable Philippines.
The Asian CEO Awards is an excellent forum. It's a forum which has put the Philippines industry at the benchmark in any of the best and the brightest in the world.
May bagong umagang parating. May bagong umagang parating. Bagong umaga parating.
Get inspired by so many other people's advocacies and other people's businesses.
Gaano man kabigat ang dinadala, gaano man ang hirap na nadarama sa buhay mo.
Everybody's working towards creating meaningful impact.
Walang pasanin na hindi gumagaan, walang pagsubok na hindi nalalampasan. May bagong umagang parating. May bagong umagang parating. Bagong umaga parating.
We really promote diversity and inclusion. We always encourage our teams to drive that inclusiveness in everyone.
Buhay ay may patutunguhan, bawat pangarap ay may katiyakan sa puso mo. Huwag mabibigo, nasa iyo ang kapangyarihan, nasa iyo ang pagkakataon at tagumpay. May bagong
I really believe that without that passion of wanting to do something every day and improving yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. So enjoy what you do and continue to have that passion.
To this award, we are able to reach out to more entrepreneurs. We will help you grow.
We have to continue to innovate, continue to develop.
Halina kayo't gumising sa lubungin ang bagong silang. Halina kayo't tumulong lipulin ang dilim.
We need to be at par and competitive in the global world.
Ang bawat tao'y may patutunguhan, bawat problema ay may kalutasan sa isip mo. Huwag malilito, nasa iyo ang kinabukasan, nasa iyo ang pagkakataon at tagumpay. Tagumpay, may bagong umaga.
Think big, think Filipino, and think that they can make things happen.
To receive this as part of this milestone is huge.
It's all about resilience. It's standing up when you get knocked down. We have to stay focused to our mission and our vision. And by doing so, then anything can happen.
May bagong umagang parating. May bagong umagang parating. Bagong umaga, bagong pag-asang parating.
Thank you very, very much. Once again, that was the Tanghalang Bagong Sibol Dance Company. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again and welcome to the media launch of the Asia CEO Awards 2020. The Asia CEO is moving ahead to support the nation's recovery and jobs for the Filipinos. The Asia CEO Awards started in 2010 with a single vision: to celebrate and recognize the best practices of organizations and people who are driving the country to prosperity and respect on a global scale. All of this contributes to the goal of Asia CEO Awards, which is united towards the first world. And so with that said, I would like to acknowledge your friends and devoted supporters of the Asia CEO Awards 2020, for without them, this event would not be possible. We have our title sponsor, PLDT Enterprise, Ernst & Young, Global Services for Young Leader of the Year, Wellness Company of the Year, Insular Life for Shiro of the Year, JLL for Expatriate Executive of the Year, LBC Business Solutions for SME Company of the Year, Multisys Technologies for Executive Leadership Team of the Year, Regis for Entrepreneur of the Year, Cytel for Service Excellence Company of the Year, Smart Enterprise for Global Filipino Executive of the Year, SPI Global for Top Employer of the Year, Sprout Solutions for Technology Company of the Year, Teletech for Diversity Company of the Year, United Neon for Most Innovative Company of the Year, and World Vision for CSR Company of the Year. Our knowledge partner as well is PwC Philippines, and our official hotel partner, Marriott Manila. Let's not forget our media partners, CNN Philippines, Business World, and Business Mirror. So again, thank you very much to our partners. And so without further ado, to now officially begin the program, please welcome on screen the President and CEO of the ePLDT Group and the SVP and Head of PLDT and Smart Enterprise Business Groups. We have Mr. Jovi Hernandez.
To our distinguished panel of judges, esteemed members of the press, our event partners and sponsors, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good morning to all of you. On behalf of PLDT Enterprise, it is my honor to welcome you to the media launch of the forthcoming Asia CEO Awards, one of the largest and most prestigious business awards across the Philippines and the Asia Pacific. Throughout the years, this event has served as a venue to promote the Philippines as a premier investment destination by recognizing some of the country's most accomplished leadership teams and individuals. And we at PLDT Enterprise could not be more grateful to have been part of this platform's growth throughout the years. Now, that being said, the role of the Asia CEO Awards takes on a whole new meaning today. It was exactly 95 days ago when all of us started to experience the pain of the lockdown, social distancing, and everything in between. What may have started out as a welcome change in our daily grind of traffic, work, and the hustle and bustle of daily life quickly turned into an extremely painful and serious situation. The pandemic has stricken disproportionately, hitting some of the most vulnerable sectors the hardest. COVID-19 has disconnected us further from our human relationships. Aside from the negative consequences on our health, we quickly realized the profound effects it may have on many aspects of our life, from productivity in the workplace to how our kids will do in school. Yes, we are still in the middle of the global pandemic, and many still debate whether we have already seen the full negative impact on the social and economic aspects of life. But what we can all be sure of is that it is in these difficult moments when growth takes place. In the words of author J.K. Rowling, rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. The Asia CEO Awards must now, more than ever, become the catalyst for us to rediscover our confidence and optimism, rediscover our inspiration and drive to succeed despite the odds. These are the exact qualities that we will see from the winners and all of our nominees. These are the traits that we need to celebrate. These are the things that will surely spark the entrepreneurial spirit that will enable us to reinvent the way we do things, reinvent business models, reinvent whole industries if we have to, reinvent life as we know it. In retrospect, we've been in this situation before. And despite the low moments, we found our highs. Where there was sorrow, we found joy. In weakness, we found strength. In the end, resilience defines who we are, and we will come out of this pandemic better, faster, smarter, as a people and as a nation. I would like to personally praise to the highest degree all those who will be in the running for the award categories. Your continued passion and determination, your relentless pursuit of excellence ignites the inspiration that will allow us not only to succeed at this time, but to become even more globally competitive in the years to come. May our collective ambition continue to propel us forward and bring us the success we have long envisioned for the Philippines. We are the Asia CEO Awards, united towards the first world. Thank you very much, and a pleasant good morning to all of you.
Thank you very, very much. Once again, Mr. Jovi Hernandez, ladies and gentlemen, with a very inspiring opening message. And may we say, we're very honored to have PLDT Enterprise on board yet again for this year's staging of the Asia CEO Awards. For the next speaker, here to share with us his message, please give a warm welcome for the Center for Research and Communication Research Director, Dr. Bernie Villegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this media launch of the Asia CEO Awards 2020. For the last 11 years, we have been holding up as role models CEOs and other leaders who have succeeded most in steering their respective organizations towards the triple objectives of people, planet, and profit. More than ever, because of the trying circumstances that we are going through because of this pandemic, we need to identify more examples of outstanding leadership who not only will continue to help their organizations attain the triple objective, but also to go through this difficult circumstances, attaining another triple goal, which is to survive, to reboot, and to regrow. A hashtag being used by the Department of Agriculture under the leadership of Secretary William Dar, and I refer specifically to agriculture and to agribusiness in general, because in my book, that's going to be the sector that will be leading the recovery. Not only because of the importance of food security, which we have experienced very much during the pandemic, but because it is in agribusiness that we will find many of the solutions to our number one problem, which is still widespread poverty, which I'm afraid has worsened to the 17% unemployment rate that we are now experiencing. Millions of people have fallen below the poverty line. And that is why we need more leaders to show how we can, first of all, survive, then to reboot, and finally to regrow. First of all, in those sectors that will most benefit from the pandemic. And in addition to agribusiness, what are the other sectors that will be the sunrise industries after the pandemic? They are very obviously all those enterprises related to health and fitness, whether curative or preventive. Then the very industry which is making this webinar possible, the industries in the so-called fourth industrial revolution, digital devices and services. And finally, the sector that has millions of stakeholders, the sector that is called education and manpower, whether formal, non-formal, and informal. These are the four sectors that will lead the V-shaped recovery that we are hoping for. But equally, we need outstanding leaders in those sectors that are going to be hardest hit by the pandemic. And what are they? Definitely travel and tourism will take some time to recover. Automotive, fashion, and retailing, restaurants. These are going to have a hard time surviving, but precisely we need equally competent leaders and organizations to help these specific sectors. And so, as a member of the Board of Judges, I would like to see numerous applications in the sectors that I've enumerated, those that are both part of the sunrise areas, as well as those that are going to be having a hard time to survive. And so may the best CEOs and enterprises win. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bernie Villegas. Another very, very inspiring message to start off our morning. We now move on to the exciting part, to the nominations, and to share with us the process and how, yes, it will all be different this year. Please listen to the chairman and senior partner of PwC Philippines, Mr. Alex Cabrera.
Good morning. My name is Rick, and I'm the Vice Chairman of Pricewaterhouse Manila. I'm speaking on behalf of our Chairman, Alex Cabrera, who unfortunately cannot join today. We are honored to be the award's knowledge partner, and our role is to ensure the integrity of the process from nomination to judging all the way to actual awarding. It is also our responsibility to ensure that the judging process is orderly and efficient by giving them all the facts that they need for them to appreciate the substance and citations under each nomination. Last year's award was historical high in terms of number of nominations, 370 in total. And we believe that there should be more given the circumstances we are facing now. Pandemic and quarantine controls will not be an issue because online will be done, because the nomination will be done online. So you can simply access the online platform and submit your nomination. We would like to request all nomination forms to be direct, to be short, and be specific about the citations and statements that you would like to nominate. Number two, please also ensure that verifiable evidences and supporting documents are submitted for us to easily verify the citations and nominations. And number three, we would like to request early submission of nominations. Last year, more than 80% of the nominations were submitted during the last day of the submission. So please submit your nominations early. We look forward to your participation and nomination forms. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Roderick Danao. And so, for 11 successful years of passion and commitment of highlighting the best leaders and organizations the Philippines has produced, to officially present and introduce this year's Asia CEO Awards, please welcome the chairman of the Asia CEO Awards, Mr. Richard Mills.
Welcome, everyone. We're coming to you live from the City of Love, Manila. We have a great situation. Yeah, Manila, Philippines. We call it the City of Love these days. The whole world is going broke, it seems, because of this pandemic. But Philippines will prosper again. But these are trying times for millions of people. And we had great concern whether we should run the event this year. But our partners and so forth said, yes, we need to do it, and we need to show that business people are leading the way toward prosperity for people. We need to really do our part. And so for everybody listening out there, and I know there's a lot of senior people who've registered for the event, really glad to have you. This is your chance to nominate your organization or your favorite leaders for these awards so we can promote you. Tell us and tell the judges about the great works that you are doing for the nation in the world. And so we'll get going, but we have a lot of especially senior people with us today who you'll see on screen. Many of them have been a key part of the event since the very beginning. I was calculating that the group today employ close to 100,000 Filipinos and certainly serve many more. So they all had good stories that the economy is turning around. So let's get going. So first, please take a look at this coming to you right now.
Thank you very, very much, Richard. We're going to see him in a bit later. I know at least his message was loud and clear for everybody. We'll see him in action later on. And by the way, I am monitoring our event on Facebook right now. Thank you very much for your comments, with the likes of Weni Tan Mabitad, who said, this kind of event is an inspiration to all businesses amidst the difficulties that we are facing. Thank you, especially for our small entrepreneurs and micro businesses like my company. Congratulations to Asia CEO and the companies recognized and the ones that will be awarded. Truly, this is a very exciting day for everyone. Now, as Richard said, it is about time we get to hear and see our valued sponsors and partners who will now present to us this year's awards categories. And so we begin with Ernst & Young Global Services for Young Leader of the Year category. This will be presented by the Chief Operations Officer, Ms. Gemma Gerlan.
Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here. The EY Global Services Young Leader of the Year recognizes leaders who are 35 years old and under and who have accomplished remarkable things in the past year for our nation. The Philippines is blessed with one of the youngest populations in the world, and it is so critical to our future that we continue to produce top young leaders who will lead the country to future prosperity. Ernst & Young Global Services looks forward to highlight the best young leaders at the Asia CEO Awards 2020. This is our second year of sponsoring this award, and we can't be thankful enough to Asia CEO Awards for the privilege of being a part of this prestigious event. Thank you, everybody.
Once again, to present the Wellness Company of the Year category, we have the AVP of HR for Wipro, Ms. Grace Desena.
The Wellness Company of the Year recognizes organizations that promote healthy lifestyle in the workplace. Studies have shown that happy, healthy employees produce organizations that are more engaged, more profitable, and fun to manage. The Wellness Company of the Year recognizes those companies who do the most to create healthy lifestyles for their employees, both inside and outside the workplace. Join me to highlight the Wellness Company of the Year award at Asia CEO Awards 2020. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Insular Life Shero of the Year category. This will be presented by Executive Chairman, Ms. Nina Aguas.
Magandang araw, everyone, from Insular Life. Our In Life Shero of the Year award recognizes strong and empowered women who are helping to build a strong, modern Filipino nation. The Filipino woman is leading the world in female empowerment and in gender equality. The In Life Shero of the Year award highlights women who are leading from the front, particularly in the midst of the COVID pandemic-induced crisis, when the country needs them more than ever before. So we welcome all the nominations. Please join us. Thank you, and again, magandang araw.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nina. Thank you. That was again Ms. Nina Aguas. Next, we have JLL Expatriate Executive of the Year category, and this will be presented by the country head, Mr. Christoph Wittich.
Morning, everyone. The GLL Expatriate Award of the Year recognizes non-Filipino nationals who are contributing to elevate the Philippine industry development success story. The essence of this recognition is about a healthy exchange of business know-how, international and local opportunity, as well as best practice, paired with innovative ideas which make a country grow successfully. The country progresses further when global leaders bring their expertise to further economic growth. It's all about coming together as one to develop the professional capabilities of Filipinos and the Philippines as a country, which Asia CEO and GLL have been a very strong advocate of. For over a decade, GLL has been supporting Asia CEO in its endeavor to improve how we do business in the Philippines. Thank you for honoring those who deserve recognition for the Philippine industry success locally and internationally. Without further ado, on behalf of GLL Philippines, I am honored to present the Expatriate Executive of the Year Award for this year Asia CEO Award. Thank you.
Thank you as well. That was again Mr. Christoph Wittich. LBC Business Solutions SME Company of the Year category is next, and this is presented by the Chief Marketing Officer, Mr. Javi Mantecor.
Good morning, everyone. I believe the importance of small, medium-scale enterprises to the Asian economy, particularly here in the Philippines, can never be denied. How can we, when statistics show 99% of business currently operating are micro SMEs? But more than the strength of their numbers is the value and impact that they bring. Apart from the employment generation, SMEs also encourage healthy competition and spearhead innovation. With the new normal upon us, all of these will be put to the test. To show support for the nation's SMEs, LBC is not just providing them dynamic services, but also supporting endeavors which honor their efforts, like recognizing the SME Company of the Year for 4 years now with the Asia CEO. Being a former SME, LBC knows the painstaking journey that businesses have to go through to be noticed, to be patronized, to be able to develop a customer base, and become an integral part of lives of Filipino. All your stories may be different, but they're definitely inspiring. May your determination and resilience encourage other entrepreneurs to stay the course of their dreams so they, like you, can become key drivers to the country's economy. And with that, LBC is very proud to be able to present the SME Company of the Year for 2020.
Well said. Thank you very much, Mr. Javi. Next, we have, we're only halfway, the Multisys Technologies Executive Leadership Team of the Year category, to be presented by Chief Executive Officer, Mr. David Almirol.
Good morning, everyone. So Multisys Technologies Corporation is a software platform development company, and our priority is to support our partners, equipping them with technology tools for the new normal of business operation. We want to expand our partnership not only as technology partner or technology provider, but as a business revenue enabler to them. This is also our avenue to promote Filipino ingenuity, not only in the Philippines, but also in a global scale. Multisys is presenting the Executive Leadership Team of the Year category for the Asia CEO Awards. The award is open to any executive management team that achieved important success while overseeing a major organization. The team should have also demonstrated exceptional leadership, the skills resulting to maximization of stakeholders' values. The accomplishments must demonstrate the following criteria. First, leadership and governance. Second, financial contribution. Third, recognition. Fourth, pioneering achievements. And lastly, social commitment. We welcome all nominations. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. David. Next, we have Regis Entrepreneur of the Year category, to be presented by the country head, SVP ASEAN, Mr. Lars Wittig.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Asia CEO Entrepreneur of the Year is an amazing award, which we are very proud to sponsor once again this year. Entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship in the Philippines, it's a driving force for the economic growth and not least the inclusive economic growth. In these times of change, agility and adaptability is really a key, and entrepreneurs are, as always, taking the lead in this game. Philippine entrepreneurs, they are our heroes. They are acting without any safety net, but with a long and a proud history here in the Philippines of being creative and not least resilient. Again, Regis and Spaces by IWG, a very proud sponsor of this fine award. Best of luck to all the nominees. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lars. Next is the Cytel Service Excellence Company of the Year category, to be presented by the Chief People Officer, Ms. Heidi Enriquez.
Cytel Service Excellence Company of the Year Award celebrates organizations that consistently go beyond customer expectations and deliver experiences that wow our clients. Customer service is when a brand truly comes to life. Service excellence defines companies' long-term success. In Cytel, we believe that the best experiences are delivered when we make real emotional connections and rapid solutions to leave a lasting impression on behalf of our brand and the brands that we represent. And so it is indeed an honor to present this recognition at the Asia CEO Awards 2020.
Thank you for that, Ms. Heidi. Still more categories to go, and next is the Smart Enterprise Global Filipino Executive of the Year category. This will be presented by the President and CEO of EPLDT Group, Mr. Jovi Hernandez.
The Smart Enterprise Global Filipino Executive of the Year award gives recognition to a Filipino leader who has made a positive impact not just on his direct constituents or customers, but on society at large. With the United Nations having recently qualified the Philippines as a middle-income status nation, SMART heralds for key influencers and decision makers to sustain such momentum and enable the nation to become even more globally competitive. As such, this accolade is given to a stalwart whose unparalleled leadership and vision will enable the Philippines to reach first world status. So we're very pleased to be presenting this award in behalf of SMART.
Thank you for that, Mr. Jovi. Next is the SPI Global Top Employer of the Year category. We have the SVP for Marketing and External Affairs to present, Ms. Celeste Ilagan.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the sponsors and supporters of the Asia CEO Awards. The SPI Global Top Employer of the Year recognizes organizations that are preeminent at how they treat employees and how their employees regard them in return. It is not easy to balance the needs of an organization and the needs of its employees, but these companies are the best in being able to find that right balance. This award recognizes organizations that inspires its people to do their best and display the ultimate traits of great leadership. SPI Global is honored to present the Top Employer of the Year award at the Asia CEO Awards 2020.
Thank you very much, Ms. Celeste. Next is the Sprout Solutions Technology Company of the Year category. This will be presented by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Patrick Gentry.
So as the leading HR and payroll technology company in the Philippines, Sprout is tremendously honored to be able to present this year's Technology Excellence Award for the Asia CEO Awards. This award recognizes organizations focusing on information and communications technology, sciences, math, and engineering. Technology has the greatest opportunity of transforming and advancing this nation by making adding accessibility to products and services for all Filipinos. Sprout Solutions is a company that is also focused on technology services. So we're incredibly intimate with the challenges and unique opportunities that are provided to technology companies in this country. So looking forward to this year's Technology Award in the Asia CEO Awards.
Looking forward as well. Thank you for that, Patrick. Next is the Teletech Diversity Company of the Year category. This will be presented by the SVP of Asia Pacific, Mr. Arthur Noack.
Good morning, everyone. This is Paul Doctolero from Teletech. We are pleased to present to you the Diversity Company of the Year. This prestigious award recognizes organizations that empower people regardless of race, religion, gender identity, and physical ability. It is the second year we are partnering with Asia CEO to recognize companies leading robust diversity initiatives in their organization. Teletech believes in the power of diversity in the workplace. It fosters innovation and problem solving by pushing everyone to look at things in different perspectives. This is especially relevant during this time of pandemic that is affecting everyone from all race, religion, and walk in life. Teletech is a proud of our long history and inclusive and diverse culture, but we recognize there's always room for improvement. And today, we make a commitment to renewing that efforts. Teletech created the Diversity Company of the Year so all people can be appreciated at the Asia CEO Awards. Thank you very much, and we look forward to your nominations. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Paul, for speaking for Mr. Arthur. Next is the United Neon Most Innovative Company of the Year category. We have the Chief Relationship Officer, Ms. Alpha Alanigi.
Good morning, online world. United Neon Most Innovative Company of the Year recognizes that innovation is an important factor for a robust business environment. We need companies that implement revolutionary new concepts and relevant solutions. Organizations that constantly adapt to the growing concerns and issues of an ever-changing and challenging landscape to quicken the nation's wheel of economy and continuously improve the quality of life of our people. The United Neon Most Innovative Company of the Year supports this critical goal of innovation to boost our way towards being a developed country. Here in Asia CEO, our theme for this year is United Towards First World. After all, the Filipinos are known for being great innovators. We don't quit. We are resilient and patient to see and effect breakthroughs. We thrive and survive because we always innovate. The spirit of innovation is very much alive in the Philippines, and we invite you to vie for United Neon Most Innovative Company of the Year at the Asia CEO Awards 2020.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alpha. And finally, the World Vision CSR Company of the Year category. This will be presented by their National Director, Mr. Romel Fuerte.
Thank you very much, Isa, and good morning, everyone. I am very excited to introduce World Vision CSR Company of the Year, recognizing organizations that embrace their social commitment to the Philippines through corporate social responsibility. It could be through programs that support education, health and nutrition, economic development, child protection, disaster risk reduction, and many other ways organizations contribute to the society. World Vision is delighted to present the CSR Company of the Year Award at the Asia CEO Awards 2020. Together, we can make a big difference in our society, our country, the Philippines. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Romel. To all of our sponsors and partners, a total of 14 categories to nominate your distinguished leaders, companies, and teams for. So once again, that was this year's award categories. Of course, any award ceremony will not be possible without the presence of a set of judges. And so to formally introduce the 11th Asia CEO Awards 2020 Board of Judges, please welcome back on screen, Mr. Richard Mills.
Very good. Thank you very much. There I am. Yes, our board of judges. So we really have good judges, not just good, but amazing, as you will see in this short little video. You also heard Bernie early on in the stage with his motivational story about things, really good. So please watch this to hear about our videos, and we'll be right back.
Thank you again for that, Mr. Mills. And yes, thank you very much as well to our board of judges. Exciting times ahead. But here's another very special segment of the Asia CEO Awards media launch that I personally look forward to. It's time to really hear from everybody. So we will proceed to the Q&A segment.
Key in your questions, comments, and suggestions via the chat.
Glad to have everyone here with us. Well, maybe I could start. Who's up there with Gemma? Gemma of Ernst & Young Global Services. Gemma, you jumped on this Young Leader Award when you first heard about it and have made it a huge success. It's certainly one of our largest in terms of nominations. Why is it such a big deal for you?
Richard, thank you very much for that very meaningful question. EY recognizes the remarkable contributions of the new breed of young leaders as they help navigate and shape the success of organizations all over the world. And recognizing the critical role they play in global business and economy, it is therefore our responsibility to mold, to support, and empower our young leaders. And one way to do that is to recognize and reward our emerging leaders and to show that we value the important role they play. And we must inspire them to dream big and embrace their destiny of stepping in as great leaders of our future. In EYGDS Philippines, close to 90% of our workforce are millennials and Gen Z, and they are emerging as change catalysts, driving positive change and innovation within our EY Global Network. Our purpose as an organization is to build a better working world, and what better way to help achieve that purpose than to fully support our young leaders who are now really building a better world for us.
Very good. Okay, that sounds good. That's a good story. Well, could we next ask Grace Decina of the Wellness Company of the Year Award. Grace, you know, healthy stuff, you hear a lot about this and it all sounds really nice, but why are healthy people better to work with and have them working for you? Is it just because they look good? What's the big deal?
When I was really, like, while listening to your question, Richard, like, I go, you know, the saying goes that when you feel good, you look good. Or it can be vice versa. And a lot of the organizations right now are really driving a lot of these health and wellness campaign, especially during times like this. And if I were to speak of, you know, programs on wellness that companies have put together, it doesn't only speak of, you know, they have gyms in the facility, but there's now a very strong drive on resiliency programs for employees, whereby part of our wellness is not only physical, but it's also mental. And because of this work from home that's happening right now with employees, there is a very strong need for counseling or for resiliency. And therefore, companies provide this so that there's that end-to-end wholeness and wellness that is given to each and every employee. And as we very well know, if we're healthy in mind, body, and spirit, then we become more productive and we become more profitable for the organization.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Thanks. I got to say, the question and answer part is always the most exciting part. And so far, we're proving that's true. Next, on the top right, we have special guest Javi Mantecon, the Chief Marketing Officer of the company every Filipino knows, LBC. This is their LBC Business Solutions part of this. And now, Javi, your company really focuses on SME companies, and you talk big about it. They're all very, and you certainly had a big focus on creating this award and promoting SME companies. But are you saying that small companies are more important than big ones? I mean, how can small companies make such an impact when they're small?
Well, that's always a big debate, whether the smaller ones can outdo the bigger ones. But in numbers and cumulative, yes, the micro and SME segment of the Philippines is such a diverse group that focus on a lot of innovations. This is where you see a lot of startups pushing the boundaries with technologies nowadays. Doc Villegas said even on the agricultural side, they're pushing different types of organizations now for them to do from farm to market services and really change the way they're doing. And all of these types of innovations, and I would also say competitiveness, there's not just one of them. There are thousands and thousands of them trying to do and diversify on the same services, brings competition, brings prices down, right? So everything is really good. Nina also mentioned a very good fact that it is also what we believe in the micro and SMEs that are very resilient during these times. They're able to sort of downsize, upsize during this time. Yes, they need help through it, but they'll be the first ones to bounce back during this new normal and this new situation that we're feeling in the Philippines.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm asking a funny question because it is really the key to the future of the nation, the SME sector. Okay, next on our screen on the middle left is Nina Aguas. Very glad to have her, a high-profile person, executive chairman of Insular Life, the country's largest locally owned insurance company. And Nina, it seems your organization has become the biggest promoter of women's success. And that's why you founded the Shero of the Year Award. Do you think men are still important in all of this, or should we just try to stay out of the way?
Thank you, Richard. Certainly, I think we should not minimize the role of men, right? And they still have a very important role to play in our lives, in humankind, and the rest of humanity, I think. They must be strong advocates, firm, and vocal about their support of women issues and women empowerment and all that jazz. But if they can't do that for us, first I'd like them to do it for their mothers, for their grandmothers, for their daughters, for their wives, for the women in their lives. But still, if they can't do it, just keep quiet and forever hold your peace.
Yes, I know, it's true. Every study about this has shown that if the women are empowered, the country is strong. So keep up the good work, Nina. Okay, our next speaker right in the middle of the screen is Christophe Vasiche. He's a country head of JLL, the region's largest real estate advisory company. And now JLL, for everyone to know, they're one of the key founding sponsors of Asia CEO Award. So they've been with us right from the beginning. Now, Christophe, how are us foreigners still important to the country's development when Filipinos seem to have come so far so fast in business? Do they still need us around, or what's your opinion?
Thanks, Richard. I hope so. They still need us, because you and I will have to pack our suitcase if not. I think it's not either or. In any country, you have a blend of success story, and the expatriate may have the wrong connotation, but it is a Filipino non-national. And I think this is important, that it's seen as a combined effort for the development of the country. I think, if I recall, and I was not there, but if I recall our discussion, we founded the Asia CEO to promote, advocate, develop, improve the business in the Philippines. And you needed what we call different blood or different expertise, know-how, and the non-national brought that to the Philippines. I believe there was always going to be room but I think it has to be taken in a context of, it's not about the nationality which should define the success story. It's about the expertise and what one brings to the table. And I think as long as we, non-Filipino, and this is something we can't change, are bringing value, then there will be always a combined Filipino, non-Filipino business makers, business doers, and they will all together contribute to the success story of the Philippines. I think this is how we should look at that.
Yes, we have to welcome influences and ideas from the outside world. If otherwise we end up like North Korea. So, okay, I could ask next David Elmerall on the middle right of the screen. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Multi6 Technologies, one of the country's most successful tech companies. And now, David, you are presenting one of the biggest awards of the event, the Executive Leadership Team of the Year. As an entrepreneur who become a big business and certainly deal with many of the country's largest big businesses, what do you see or what do you think are the key factors that are important to growing a successful business?
In every company, Richard, you always focus on the success, right? But for me, it's quite the other way around, because success will always come right after a good executive leadership. You know, in every company and organization, they need a superb leadership skill set to manage that. But sometimes you have to be very creative. There's no such thing as like a 1, 2, 3 step on doing that. I'm a programmer, Richard. I'm born to become a follower, not to become like a leader. Okay, but in my own experience, we don't focus much on success. We focus on relevance. That's very important. The only way to survive, especially in this new normal nowadays, we know that it's all about empowering each other. You know, empowering each other. Leaders and leaders. It's all about empowering each other. For executive leadership, it's all about bringing people together. We all know that there are no perfect organization out there, no perfect company, no perfect partnership at all. But one thing that I learned in terms of leadership is to combine these people all together. And each weaknesses, sometimes if you focus on those weaknesses, it gives us a strength to fill up because there are other strengths coming from outside. So focusing these strengths all together is like you are the player of the chessboard and you are not actually one of the pieces. So meaning you should be part of the pieces for you to play. And sometimes there are risks that you have to make. And sometimes you have to get the strength of other people and you also let your strength to be with them. So it's like combining this strength all together will make this a perfect environment in terms of leadership. So that's my perception as a computer programmer, Richard. So that's my insight. So thank you.
Okay, very good. And if you haven't already downloaded David's staysafe.ph to keep your family and your employees safe, please do so. Staysafe.ph. So it was a good effort with millions of people now downloaded it. Next, we have Lars Wittig on the bottom middle of the screen. Now, he's a high-flying guy who had a strong start here in Philippines and now runs the Asia Pacific region for Regis. And Lars, now you founded the Entrepreneur of the Year Award and are a big proponent of entrepreneurship. Certainly you serve a lot of entrepreneurs and deal with them on a daily basis. Now, are entrepreneurs really as insane as they say? I mean, isn't starting a business a crazy idea with very tiny chances of success?
Well, that's an interesting question, Richard. I guess a little bit of craziness is probably a part of the recipe for an entrepreneur to become one and also to become a successful one. There's no doubt it is a daring endeavor, so you definitely have to be courageous. But it's also a matter about living out a dream, following your heart, I believe. So it's a mix of many things. Remember, we are all getting up in the morning with a mission to realize ourselves, that self-realization, but also recognition and, of of course, the financial reward. And looking at a cost benefit, maybe you have to be a little bit insane in order to take the risk. But that the dream and the courage is really driving forces, and it turns into a financial reward, not just for the individuals, for many of them, but also very much for the Philippines and for the inclusive growth here in the Philippines.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm being a joker because certainly entrepreneurship is a key factor in the country's success, any country. Otherwise, North Korea would be a rich and powerful nation. Okay, next we have Heidi Enriquez. So we're pleased to have her. This is another one of these are all very successful people we've had on the screen today. And Heidi, certainly one of these with a global career that she has done. Now the Chief People Officer with Sitel, one of the country's largest private sector employers. And now, Heidi, your company is already known as a service excellence organization. Why is it so important that you sponsor this award and promote service excellence to others?
Yeah. Richard, being in the business of customer relationship management, we know and understand that people sign up for a product or service, but they stay for the experience. Our clients expect us to be customer service obsessed. And of course, in order to deliver that, we expect the same from the brands, partners, and suppliers that we work with. Especially in these trying times when many companies and brands are fighting for survival, it is very important, we believe, that we have an ecosystem of service excellence focused companies operating in a spirit of what we call cooperative competition to overcome the difficulties and ensure success of our organizations in particular, and of course the Philippine economy in general.
Yes, okay, very good. It is so important. This is key for the future success. Okay, thanks, Heidi. And next, maybe I could go back to Bernie Villegas, who's on the middle right of the screen. We heard his inspiring words of hope and reality for the future, because I think the pandemic has been a bit overly done, and the economy will come back. Bernie, but what do you think for people who will tell to you, is the worst over? And are we all going to go back to work, or are we all going to starve to death? What can you tell us?
Well, as I said, there are sectors that actually have benefited from the pandemic. Digital industries, food and agribusiness, health-oriented enterprises, and education. You see a lot now of investments, both from the standpoint of government and private sector, in training, especially retraining people for the new normal. So it depends now on where you are. Now, the worst is not over, obviously, for travel and tourism. That is going to take some time to recover. And for retailing, a lot of retailing outlets, in fact, have closed down. And right now, they're saying that you can have dine-ins already, but only 30%. Definitely, these enterprises are not going to be profitable for some time to come. But it is what will separate the men from the boys, just to use an expression. Those that are able to survive will be able to reboot and to regrow in the future. Once we find a vaccine, once things are back to normal health-wise. So we now have to distinguish between the emerging industries and the submerging ones. And so we really have to discriminate among the various sectors. I'm not saying we should give up on the troubled industries. On the contrary, probably we need even better leaders there to be able to go through the survival, rebooting, and regrowing phases. So that's how I see the economy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, very good. And maybe if I can ask also Rick Danao of PwC, this is a very large organization here. And I know, Rick, you deal with such a broad range of companies and industries, but what are you hearing from them about the economy? Are we starting to come back, or we're still going to drag for a while?
I'm afraid it's going to take more time before full recovery can be seen. We're hearing a lot from our clients, a tough 2020, and definitely for the most part of 2021 will be wait and see for them. We have clients who have reduced their capex spending this year because of the situation. So as a firm, PwC, our main mission is to build trust and solve the society's important problems. So we want to be in a position to help our clients bounce back, reboot, and regrow as part of the this pandemic recovery process, and at the same time help also the government collect the much needed taxes from our clients. The other one being the social aspect of what we would try to do at this point in time is also to advocate certain changes in the government to really solve important problems like the basic problem about distributing cash benefits. We really want this to be digitized, use available technologies provided by Globe and Smart, for instance, and really push for the national ID system to really have sustainable solutions for all of these problems confronting our government right now. So yes, we have our clients trying to recover from this crisis, but at the same time also putting some advocates on table to help the government also become more efficient. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, very good. We'll look forward to hearing updates on a regular basis. Rick, I'm interested in this. Okay, our next question, Jovi Hernandez, who we heard before with his inspiring message on the bottom left of the screen right now. Now, Jovi, you are responsible for a large group with PLDT, the whole PLDT enterprise group, also CEO of ePLDT Group and so forth. Now, you wanted to present the Global Filipino Award. It seemed from the first time you heard about it. What are the reasons you're so interested in this particular award?
Well, thanks, Richard. We in the group have always espoused the virtue of nation building. And we feel that this award recognizes an executive whose work helps build the nation and elevates it to a global platform. We want Filipino leaders to develop a global mindset. That's very clear. And it is our intent that by recognizing these individuals, our leaders become inspired to likewise take on a broader perspective as they fulfill both their minute and their monumental tasks. Of course, everybody knows we're always inspired by the story of our own chairman and CEO, Manuel V. Pangilinan, a Filipino who started very small. He always tells us the story of his first office in Hong Kong, where they had only 5 people in a 5 square meter office. And over the years, he had made a good name internationally. And he's one of those who make us proud to be Filipinos. And they continue to show that the world that the Filipinos are world class. So we feel that through this award, we should be able to inspire a lot more of our leaders to aspire for that kind of achievement.
Yes, that's true. We need more like him. Okay. All right. Next, we'll talk to Celeste Illigan, who appears on the top middle of the screen. She's another one. Started off in the government, now Senior Vice President, Marketing, External Affairs, globally for SPI Global, one of the premier global BPO organizer, or KPO, I guess I would call it. Celeste, now the Top Employer Award is the award that you will present, and it's certainly one of the highest profile categories. Why is it so important that companies be known as top employers? Does it really help their business, or is it just something that sounds nice?
Yeah, Richard, thank you. I think it is a fair question, and the answer, I think, also is quite clear and evident. We've been having this Asia C Awards for 11 years now, and Top Employer is one of the most coveted awards. We receive a huge volume of entries from large enterprises, small enterprises, from our business community. And therefore, I believe that, getting this award really elevates a business in terms of brand status, for example. And therefore, getting this award also is an affirmation. Maybe I should call it also a seal of approval that these companies have, the best practices, the best policies, and the best culture that will help in, acquiring talent and also retaining this talent in the organization. And these are, I think, very important business imperatives: acquiring the best talent and retaining the best talent. And if we hire the best talent, we inspire them with our culture, they stay in the company for a long time. I think this is what an employer always aspires for. And therefore, the award is really good for business. It is not just nice to have. I hope I convinced you, Richard.
Yeah, you don't need to convince me, but yeah, it is a very popular award, and I know Bernie and I are on the board of judges, and it's so hard to find a winner because there's so many high quality companies. I know Jovi's Global Filipino, another one that's really attracted a lot of nominations, so it's getting more difficult each year. But anyway, so I'll go next to Paul Doctolero, who wins the award for the best dressed and best looking guy today, don't you think? His bow tie really adds a touch of class to this event, I gotta tell you. Paul has a regional role for Teletech. This is another very large organization, one of the country's largest private sector employers, and certainly known as a very high quality organization to work for. Speaking of top employers. Now, Paul, you are the founder of this Diversity Company of the Year award, and your company is known as the country's premier diversity and inclusion employer. For people who are new to this subject, why is it so important, and what can you tell us about it?
Well, Richard, some 3 years ago, we would not think that there will be an award like this. It's totally unheard of up until last year, when we partnered together to think of ways on how are we going to recognize employers who are really building robust diversity initiatives. Needless to say, this is totally relevant today, as you can see in the news in the past couple of weeks, wherein diversity has been really a concern all over the world. And we're really proud in Teletech that this partnership has blossomed into the second year. And this because this is really close, near and dear to our hearts because of our people. It reinforces the need of diversity and inclusion in the workplace and the community. And these interesting times bring out, the different talents of people, the different ideas, the different things that people are coming together, so that they can resolve an issue, regardless of it's a pandemic or a social issue. We always believe that our people is our strength, and everyone has a voice in our company. And we are very proud of the company culture because it leads us to where we are right now in promoting this to everyone. So if you haven't really looked at the diversity initiatives for your organization, this is the perfect time and really to bring people together, because that strength in people coming together will bring you success in your company. That's what we saw.
Very good. Thanks, Paul. Yes, we just started that award last year, and usually it takes a few years for them to catch on, but it really blossomed with a lot of entries almost immediately. Okay, next we'll ask Elfa Alanigi. She's the Chief Relationship Officer of United Neon. And if you've driven around Manila or in most cities across Philippines, you have seen her billboards by the side of the road and in many other places. I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of these things she has, but there's many. Elfa, you are sponsoring, the Most Innovative Company Award. And this is another mainstay category we have. Why do you think innovation is so important? Isn't it easier to just follow along with everybody else behind? What do you think?
Well, that's a very relevant question nowadays, especially that we have experienced a lot of dramatic shifts this year. You know, as Dr. Villegas said earlier, we need to look at people, profit, and planets. And a lot of businesses have been affected by the pandemic. And innovation is important because I'm sure most of us would have had our long-term or mid-term plans, and we had to the 4 Rs now. Like we had to review, recalibrate, reboot, and really think of relevance, especially with the shifts of customer needs. And I think innovation is important because of the 3S. You know, we need to survive. Survival is key now. Everyone is fighting for that, except of course for the essential goods companies. And moreover, there's a need for us to sustain our businesses. And even if there are shifts, you know, when I really think about it, there may be shifts in the 3Ps, but one thing is definite. You know, we stick to our brand purpose or our company's purpose. And because of that purpose, we think of how do we really attain or further our purpose, reaching people. And this is where innovation would really play a big part, because we want to see our companies, our businesses be successful in reaching out and meeting our purpose. So I guess innovation really is key, especially nowadays.
Very good.
What do you think?
Yes, I agree. Well, okay, our next question is Ramel Fuerte, who appears on the bottom right of the screen. And he's the national director. Yeah, come up quite well. Another career kind of success thing you would say with World Vision. This is a very large global organization. They do tremendous work for people across Philippines. Now, Ramel, you are the sponsor of the CSR Company of the Year Award. And it is, I think it might be the largest in terms of numbers of nominations we receive. Incredibly quality of companies as well. Now, why is this concept so important, and why do companies do so much? You know, some people say that, I mean, there's a few people who say that companies shouldn't do this. It should be left to individuals. But what is so different to what companies do as opposed to what individuals do? Is that too big a question? I hope you can answer it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Richard, for that question. And I think it's a timely question, especially during this time of COVID-19 pandemic. I think the concept of CSR is all the more relevant in times like this. Many organizations, whatever the size, small, medium, or large businesses have been doing CSR. And I think a testament of that would be the number of entries for the Asia CEO Awards. And I've noticed also that even startups, organizations, they have already incorporated CSR in their businesses as early. And I think there is a high sense of awareness also now that companies should not only exist for profits, but also to contribute in doing something good for the society. There's actually a study that says that companies with vibrant CSR have more loyal and committed employees. It's a benefit for companies, for businesses. And as a proactive organization or businesses, you do CSR to help the whole of the society, a CSR that help the ecosystem thrive. And it's really always good business, while doing something good as well. I hope that helps, Richard.
It sure does. Yes, it is. It's a key award, and I'm always impressed by the scale and size of the work companies do. I mean, it's almost, in some cases, too much. I shouldn't say it. We want them to do more, but it's remarkable. The stories we read, Bernie and I, who see these on the board of judges, we really see some amazing stories. These were really good questions, really good information we had. So that was very nice. And I hope everybody who's watching, you can get a feel of the kind of people we have as part of this event. They're nice and they really care about the future of this nation. So nominate now, Asia CEO Awards 220. Glad to have you with us. And welcome back to the next part of this event. Thank you.
Cheers to you, Richard, to all of our partners and sponsors. Wonderful, wonderful spiels all about the different awards categories that you do sponsor. And yes, for championing again, not just companies out there or people or leaders, but now you are all looking forward to these wonderful stories and nominations from everyone here in the Philippines. And so, from hearing from our partners, wonderfully moderated by Richard Mills, it's now time to hear from another person who has shown love for the country in her continuous commitment to promote the Philippines as a premier business destination. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President and CEO of the Asia CEO Awards, Ms. Rebecca Bustamante Mills.
Thank you very much, everyone. We've been doing the Asia CEO Award for 3 reasons. Number 1 is making Philippines a business hub in Asia, recognizing our leaders, and of course, the biggest thing is making Philippines a first world country. And we want to say thank you, everyone, especially the sponsors, for believing in that vision. And we believe together we can do it. So we encourage you to nominate your leaders, your organization, to hit that first world Philippines on or before 2030, despite of this pandemic. Yes, we can do it. Let's stand strong and united. Mabuhay at salamat sa ating lahat.
I love it. Thank you very, very much, Rebecca Bustamante Mills, for truly not just inspiring, but fiery words. I love how you cheered everybody on, how we can all definitely do it. Do not forget, everybody, nominations are now officially open for Asia CEO Awards 2020. Submit your nominations right now. Please do. Again, thank you to all of our viewers for joining us this morning. And of course, to our esteemed sponsors, judges, and supporters of the Asia CEO Awards 2020, thank you. You have our gratitude. This has been your host, Isa Litton. And to officially end today's program, here to serenade and capture the hearts of everyone, please welcome Asia's Golden Girl, Miss Jerfil Flores.
I have often dreamed of a far-off place where heroes welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds would cheer when they see my face, and a voice keeps saying, this is where I'm meant to be. I'll be there someday. I can go the distance, I will find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile would be worth my while. When I go the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Down an unknown road to embrace my fate, though that road may wander, it will lead me to you. And 1,000 years would be worth the wait. It might take a lifetime, but somehow I'll see it through, and I won't look back. I can go the distance, and I'll stay on track. No, I won't accept defeat. It's an uphill slog, but I won't lose hope till I go the distance and my journey's complete. But to look till I find my heroes will come waiting. Yours.
Inspiration, a deeply rooted passion, an unshakable motivation, the drive to get up and move forward, the ability to rise above hardships. But inspiration that once was around may now be hard to find. Businesses will never be the same again. We know that. And your customers do too. But what they don't know is, this isn't all there is. We hope to inspire you to look beyond the heartaches, challenges, failures, broken dreams, beyond the norm, beyond the expected, beyond where you've already been, beyond fiber. We want to inspire you to keep dreaming, to redefine what your new normal looks like, to go beyond limits with abilities that you could have. From managed equipment, business applications, brick and mortar solutions, online and e-commerce platforms, cybersecurity and IT support, and so much more. The best part? Inspiration begins at only 2,500 pesos a month. All bundled together with our fastest fiber optic network. There's so much more in store for you. You just need to find inspiration to look beyond. Beyond fiber.
Okay, we can't.
Are you ready? In 1, 2.
Grace.
Miss Grace.
Hug, Kabsat.
Kapit bisig po.
Hug us.
Okay.
See
In
everybody.
1,
Lift up.
2, 3. Okay.
Woo! That's nice, guys. That's very
That's
good. Very, very good.
Okay.
Everybody looks so good.
Thank
It's
you.
nice to see everyone.
Thank you,
Oh,
everybody.
God bless you
And
all.
again,
Thank you. Take care. Keep well.
really, really good,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks, everyone.
The
Hello,
video-
hello. Wala pa ako sa picture.
Yes.
See you at the
Great to see
next
you
Asia
all.
CEO.